Urban Design Group 2, mentored by architect Ulka Pawar and architect Rakhi Takle. After being divided into three groups, we started our detailed documentation of the given site. The site that we got starts from Patel Colony to Gadge Maharaj Chowk, extended till Tivanda. Introduction. The site has a large cultural, religious, and social significance to the city. The activities that occur in the site and in the vicinity of the site plays an important role in binding the city together. The aim of the studio is to understand the existing city fabric and analyzing the activities and the role they play in forming the existing nature of the site. Site location. The site is located in the Old Nasik. The area starts from Patel Colony to Gadge Maharaj Chowk, extended till Devanda. The site is the commercial core of the city, with a lot of historical, cultural, and social significance. This area has heavy footfall due to continuous commercialization, along with religious factors. Due to high cultural and religious relevance from Damodar Theatre, Sakshi Ganpati Temple, Bhadrakali Temple, Buddha Halwai, Bhadrakali's Raja, and the Rahad, commercialization has increased in a remarkable rate. Visual documentation. When talking about cultural significance, many structures like Vijayanan and Damodar Theatre, Madhukar Talkies, and Buddha Halwai come into picture. This structure hold an historical importance which contributes in the site till date. When talking about religious importance, Sakshi Ganpati Temple and Bhadrakali Temple are known widely. This still holds the same importance as they held in the older times, gathering the crowd all over the city. Detailed documentation of the site was done with the help of various layers of the documentation. Evolution helps us to understand the social culture and political influences to the site. It aids in understanding the people and their lifestyle and how they adapt according to the change over the time of period. Around 400 years ago, Maratha, Jain, and Rajasthani people started to settle near the bank of Godavari. The Rajasthani people used to offer religious ritual. Thus the settlement starts to spread from bank of Godavari towards the south. The planning of the house was closely combined and inclusive. When Nizam Shah invaded in 1586, he chose Ghazipur as their administration post. Thus, the settlement along the Ghazipura started in 1707. Maharashtra rule came into the picture and started to settle along the river bank. They shifted the Bhadrakali temples towards the Tivanda. The administration building from the Peshwa was Sarkar Wada in Saraf Bazar. Developed the river bank and made it a replica of Kashi. Thus today, Nasik holds a religious importance as a city.
Social culture. Social cultural layers helps us in understanding the cultural evolution of the site. Social cultural aspects includes various traditions that change or evolve with the time. These various aspects include entertainment, food, lifestyle, and many more. The whole city still retains the vibrant network of culture. The belief of the people doesn't just get reflected by the built form but also by the day-to-day lives of the people. Various cultural and religious festivals like Rang Panchami, Shiv Jayanti, Ganesh Chaturthi and Eid that take place all over the city has a different vibrancy and plays an important role in connecting the whole city together. The city has various market lanes in its vicinity, which caters its day-to-day needs and is affordable and cheaper as compared to the modern market. Topography. The topography study gives us information about the contours and the building techniques used due to the contours. Due to the variation in contours, retaining walls are constructed in the site to retain the soil and keep the houses secure from the stormwater. Use of offsteps on the steeper slope provide easy accessibility to the houses and the plinths counter the slope and the secure the houses from the stormwater. Land use mapping. From this layer study, we understand the typology of the built mass and gives us an idea of the proposals that can be made. Building heights. The height of the structures in overall site are quite overpowering due to which streets are shaded. Building age. By this layer we understand the historical background and the development of the site. Building condition. This layer helps us to understand the history of the structure and also gives us an idea of which structure can be conserved or redeveloped. Open spaces. The accessible open spaces themselves act as interactive spaces such as the streets. Though the site contains more amount of public area, it cannot be used for public use. One of the major open space is the Rasul Bagh graveyard, which cannot be accessed by women. There are also several such open spaces which are not in function, hence there is a need of dedicated open spaces like community spaces which would be used without any blockage of vehicular movement on the streets. Spaces which would also provide a safer place for children for their outdoor games and activities. Vegetation. The vegetation study tells us about the social spaces in the site and the areas where dense and sparse vegetation is present. The trees are the important element on the site as it does not just act as an aesthetic element but also act as an shading device. Trees enhance walkability, make streets more attractive, act as a landmark and an urban drainage. Specific tree helps in improving the air quality. Traffic and transportation. The city is connected to the site by public as well as private transportation. This helps us to understand the vehicular movement and the congestion occurring in the site due to it. The main city connections are the Mumbai-Agra Highway, Trambak Road, Pet Road, and the Dindori Road. The road hierarchy gives us an idea of vehicular movement and pedestrian movement. The public traffic flow starts from 11 am and unloading of goods in the shop happen till 10 am. The peak hours starts from 4 pm in the evening till 9 pm. During that time the vehicular density increases and thus the parking on the street increases in front of the shop. Nodes. All nodes serve different but important purpose to this urban context. Some are considered landmarks like Damodar and Sakshi Ganpati Chowk. No traffic define density. Street elevation. The elevation shows the variation and diversity in the structures present at the site as well as the hawkers and the vendors. The character of the street shows how diverse shops and activities are present at the same time. This attracts more crowd from the city. The street becomes the major community space for different day-to-day activities for all age groups. The openings of each building overlook the street, which gives a sense of security even though the streets are narrow. Activity mapping. The activity map formation on the road shows the mobile formation between the crowd and the various activities throughout the day. In the morning, various activities like loading, unloading of trucks, setting of vegetable market, and the hawkers setting their carts. In the afternoon, the public flow starts to increase and thus congestion starts to happen slowly. The vehicular movement still happens in flow due to less crowd on the street. In the evening, the site is at its peak point. This leads to congestion due to the pedestrian flow and thus vehicular movement gets difficult. The site is well known for its commercial activity which attracts people due to the variety of goods at an affordable price. The streets are mixed with the interdependency of hawkers and the shop's owners which helps in commercialization. Annual activity mapping. As the street act as the main community space for the site, they play a remarkable role during the festivals. During the festive period, all the major primary and secondary streets are closed down and activities happen on street. During Ganesh Chaturthi, the emergence of the idol in various places in the site changes the fabric and the street nature. During the procession, the main route that leads towards Godavari rivers is blocked and thus the traffic is rerouted. During Ranga Panchami, the Rahad at Tivanda is one of the oldest cultures, thus many activities like rain showers occur in this vicinity. Thus any festival happening interacts with street and the open nature with people's participation is the unique identity of the site.
The SWOT analysis of the site is done to understand the existing issues on the site and to provide solutions for the same. Some of the identified issues are heavy footfall on the narrow streets causing congestion due to high vehicular and pedestrian movement, encroachment of the vendors on the site causing disturbed walkability, the historical landmarks are not conserved, and lack of public toilets in the site doesn't allow people to stay for a longer time. The vision of the site is to create an inclusive, cohesive development by opening up the site and inviting the people to spend some leisure time in the recreational activities tied with the commercial activities and maintaining the interdependency of the site. Various strategies that were used are listed below, such as restricting the vehicular movement and increasing the walkability, addition of public toilets at various intervals, introducing parking at various points, adding recreational spaces and activities to celebrate the existing activities of the site, and pedestrianizing the secondary streets to increase pedestrianization. The structure plan shows the ideas and design interventions we have proposed to this site to make it more wide-ranging. The interventions are changes in the built form while keeping the existing essence of the site. Some of the proposals are: footpaths are provided all over the site, recreational spaces are added at various intervals, the existing entertainment land use is being revived and new land use is provided along it. The red light area is being transformed and is also encouraged with increased inclusivity to the site. The vendors are approached in an efficient way while celebrating the existing landmarks. The site is open up to all age groups and post points are created all over the site, and the existing heritage of the site is being conserved. This is the comparative analysis of the existing site and the proposed structural plan. In this, we can see our attempt to make the site more inclusive and wide-ranging to the complete city. In this, we can see that we have kept the commercial and the mixed-use activities on the street in order to help increase the footfall. The hierarchy of the building heights in the existing and the proposed structure plan are similar so that the social security due to the built form remains there.